recently I've seen some clips where some, Islamophobic guests have been attacking the religion, and you gave. I know what your style is. I understand it. Your style is to let people speak. You believe in free speech and all this kind of thing. I fully understand. But there comes a time where, okay, you need to exhibit some of those virtues that we're talking about, in the sense that, okay, if they're talking about your religion, because you're a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Like Fresh in the beginning, even though he did try his best, and I respect him for that. He was, when I was speaking about the Bible and Christianity, he wanted to push back. He did want to push back, and he, was thinking, and he was really being, inquisitive and so on. I would want to see a bit more of that, brother. You know what I'm trying to say? If people are attacking Islam, because let me tell you something, we need to have as much an emotional investment in the principles that we hold to be true as we do with issues to do with gender and so on. Like, if, for example, I've seen you get mad a few times with some woman in your studio that was, I don't know, saying certain things, and then she left, and you got mad at her, you got vexed. Now, let me tell you something. Like the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, when things would be said about him, attacks, slurs, and so on, they would get vexed because they have an emotional attachment to religion. And so, Malcolm X famously said, "A man that stands for nothing will fall for anything." And so I feel like it's not a problem if you want to bring Tommy Robinson. I've seen him on your show before, or anybody else. But I feel like there needs to be pushback when they come with nonsense about the religion.
So,
and if not, like, okay, you might say, well, I don't have the knowledge for that. But say for example, Tommy Robinson, you can call him out and say, so how comes you haven't debated Muhammad Hijab or somebody else who's also offered you that in the past, and you haven't debated? Why are you coming speaking about it with me, for example? But so long as there is some kind of a reaction that the Muslim audience can say, okay, this guy, he's one of us, and yes, he has the same emotional investments as we do. Just like Fresh, in the beginning, you could see he has an emotional investment to Christianity. He even brought out the pendant. Now, as we're talking, I don't know if you had it in.
Well, I had some verses here for you as well. And you should debate Sam Shuman as well. That'll be a good debate. I think so.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, I've debated David Wood in 2018. It was one of the most monumental debates, I think, Christian-Muslim debates in the last century. Potentially the most, and it's been watched like tens of millions of times across different languages. So if someone wants to see a debate between me and a Christian, that's the most monumental one.
But I get,
me versus David Wood.
I get Myron's standpoint as well, but I get what you're saying too. But he just like the guest speak, because for our show, even you yourself, like, we let you talk the whole time because you're the guest, but...
Yeah, so I'll address that, because obviously people gave me some criticism for that. So, and I know you mentioned if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. For me, I stand for free speech. That's the most important thing to me, right? And one thing that I'm really big on is, even if I disagree with you, I will divorce my emotions from what you say to let you say your piece, because I think it's very important that people are able to say what they want to say uninterrupted, and sometimes without pushback. Now, and I'll explain what I mean by not giving pushback sometimes. On that show, because people tend to forget context, right? One of the girls on the panel asked Laura, hey, you're banned all over social media. Why? Then she went into her views on Islam, why she was banned, etc. Though I don't agree with it, and I also don't agree with a bunch of her opinions, right, on foreign policy, especially with Israel, etc. I respect the fact that she's a guest. She's answering a question from another member on the panel, and though I don't agree with her, I'm going to let her answer that question. And, to go ahead and try to have a debate with her about Islam and religion and everything else like that in the middle of a podcast where we have 9 other women at the table and we have 30,000 people watching, it would be counterproductive to the show.
Yeah, but do you employ the same do you employ the same exact attitude when it comes to people that are opposing you on your gender issue discussions? Like, for example, like I said, there are clips of you when you're speaking to those, I don't know what they are, prostitutes, escorts, what they are.
Yeah. Sorry
to say, no disrespect to them, because now sex work has become a thing.
Yeah.
So are they sex workers? Those guests that you have. But basically, one of those episodes, you got mad. We saw you getting mad because she was saying things that were triggering you. And my point is that, look, it's not a problem, even if you do have a guest.
But
which one was I getting mad at?
Keep in mind,
which one?
That's hours of content.
I can't remember.
To us,
but you got mad at one and you kicked her out, right? You kicked somebody out.
It's built up, though. It's not just like randomly.
Yeah, so normally when I kick a girl out, again, this is the negative side of clips. When you see me tell a girl, get the fuck up out of here, That's typically after 2 hours of her hurting the quality of the show, being annoying, over-speaking, interrupting the other guests on the show. I really try to exercise a lot of patience when women are misbehaving on the podcast and being difficult, right? And when you see me blow up and tell them, get the hell out of here, that's typically been the culmination of multiple hours of them being annoying. And the audience knows that's watching, but unfortunately it gets clipped and they make it look like, oh, this guy just kicked her out and went crazy because she disagreed with him. And I even say it before I do the show. I will never kick you off for disagreeing with me. I will only kick you off.
Myron, let me ask you a question. If someone came on your show and started talking about, have you got kids?
No.
All right, if someone started talking about your mum, and then, like, sorry to say, went hard with your mum. So your mum is this and this and this, and so I'm not even going to mention anything, yeah? But if they started doing that, and they're a guest on the show, how would you react? Would you let them say whatever they want?
Well, I mean, I don't think that I don't know if that's that analogy kind of aligns with what we're talking about.
But it's the free speech thing, isn't it? So, like, in a sense, you could argue, well, this is a free speech situation, you know? Let them say whatever you want. If they know her personally, or let's say she's a public figure, or they know her personally, and they start attacking her, would you accept that, or would you challenge that?
People do it all the time. They say, oh, your mom doesn't, who raised you? Your mom. People have made insults about my mom all the time. It is what it is. I think the protection of free speech overrides my personal feelings towards that individual. So
you would have that. You do that if someone attack. Because here's the thing, we have. This goes back to virtue then, because free speech means you can also speak.
Of course.
That's what it means.
Of course.
So there's no contradiction in free speech if someone says something that you disagree with, that you challenge them, or that you defer them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, and by the way, just on that point, free speech is not a holy cow. Like, free speech is not God. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because now people speak about free speech.
I understand that. But Muhammad, you missed the point. When she gave that answer, that was in response to another girl on the panel. So why am I going to push back when she's saying why she got banned? Does that make sense? Like, she said, oh, I got banned. I didn't watch that,
to be honest. I didn't watch that. I should watch
and that's the
clip.
problem, because people just see the clips and they don't see the context. They think,
you're telling me the context.
You just stood there when she talked about Islam.
But here's what I would
she was
say,
simply answering a question.
Bro,
she was just answering a question from one of the panelists. That's how that clip even came about, but no one ever puts the context in there. So,
do you understand where I'm coming from? That, okay, free speech doesn't preclude that you can also respond in kind, with aggression and emotion. Like, for example, like I said before, if your parents, either or both of them, were public figures and they were being attacked or besmirched online, then you can respond to that. If you are being besmirched, so someone comes and says to you, listen, you're a scumbag, this, that, whatever, and defaming you and whatever, and you respond in kind, I'm sure you've probably done your fair share of refutations and repudiations in the past. So what I'm trying to say is that we as Muslims, like, we, in terms of how we consider our holy prophet, like, we have red lines. Obviously, Andrew Tate has spoken about this at length when he said that when he came into Islam, one of the things that attracted him to Islam was the boundaries, the red lines that Islam put. So for us as Muslims, bro, there's wars that have started in Islamic history as a result of things that were said and done which were deemed to be disrespectful. Okay, so these are every man. One of the things that you'd put as like the virtues is that every man has to have consequences in it. And if they think it's okay to come speak to someone like Myron Gaines, who has clout and he has status in the community, who's part of the men's activism movement, and go for his religion effectively in front of him, and that he's not really going to care about or something like that, that actually deprecates your character in a certain way. Because then if they speak about your religion today, tomorrow they're going to speak about your mum. And after tomorrow, they're going to speak about your daughter. Do you get it?
I disagree.
So what I'm trying to say
is, context is important. I disagree.
Yeah, I feel like you know, I feel like that there is something to be done in this regard, in it. But it's up to you. Obviously, this is your platform and your thing. But these are just my 2 cents on this issue.
Well, I understand your 2 cents, but again, context matters. If someone asks her a question and she responds as to why she was banned on social media, then what is there to debate? Like, she's saying, these are my views, this is what got me banned. Okay. And then we just move on, because again, that episode was not designed to have a religious debate and go back and forth. Me and Laura have already talked, offline of our differences of opinion when it comes to American foreign policy, Islam, etc. And I tell her, I don't agree with you, but I'm not gonna hurt.
I don't want to
and
flog a dead
inhibit
horse. I
your-
think we both understand each other's perspectives now. I don't want to flog a dead horse.
Yeah.
Like I said before, if so long as you understand where I'm coming from.
No, I completely understand. And if she made comments like that, right, and we were having a different type of show, and there weren't 9 other girls on the panel, and one of them didn't ask her personally for her opinion, because that's what she asked was, tell me why you got kicked off, and she gave her reason why. I can't really argue with her about why she got kicked off. Like, that's not. Does that make sense? So, like, to me, I was like, why?
I understand. I totally understand what you're saying, but someone can do that in an underhanded manner. Like, for example, the same analogy can be applied back to the whole mother thing. Someone can say, well, the reason this is that because you're mother. But once again, if someone brings it up, you know, it's a disrespect, effectively, bro. Like, so anything that could be considered to be a disrespect, like, you know, famously Khabib when he was with Conor, and Conor tried to underhandedly disrespect Khabib by putting like drink on his table and stuff like that. He responded in kind. He wasn't having it, and then after when Conor said, you know, it was all business, he didn't accept that, because there's a degree of seriousness that you need to exhibit on issues that are serious. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, because otherwise you'd be seen as capricious and frivolous as an individual. Like, we don't want to be seen. Yeah, we can all have fun. I'm a joker as well. I like to have fun and joke and have a good time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But there's a time to have fun and there's a time to get serious. And so I just feel like when it comes to religion and family, faith and family in particular, these two things are always going to be red lines for any man, and should be always red lines for any man. That's why even the Quran instructs us not to attack religions of other people and mock them. Yeah, we can disagree. We could talk about the corruption, the Bible, and someone can say, well, the Quran is corrupted, and, you know, someone can say this. But to mock another religion now. So if I were to come and Fresh is a very polite guy, if I try to attack him and say, you know, this and that, and try to mock him, that would be something that Islam doesn't allow. And otherwise shouldn't be allowed, in the sense that a man shouldn't allow it for another man. Now, obviously, I'm not saying anything about laws. I'm not making a political argument here. I'm not saying, oh, therefore we should ban this or should ban that. I'm just making the point that a man has to have his boundaries.
Can I just say one thing?
Oh, go ahead.
I understand what you're saying. That's your opinion about the show and Myron's take. But I would say this about the show. Our guests, we respect totally. So whatever they say as a guest, for example, you would talk for a long time. I mean, listen, I want to chime in as well, but say, you know what? You're the guest, let you speak. The point is, with the show, me and Myron, whatever guest comes on the show, their opinions, their actual, I want to say, mindset, or for example, their ideologies is on them. They talk, people know our opinion, our stance on things, and look, people know he's Muslim, and he does his thing. It's more like, you know what, she's a guest, she can talk. Pretty much.
Yeah, especially in response to someone's question, because the Islamic community tried to come at me for that, and I was like, okay, well, they don't know the context that she was answering a question, and that's why it is. But, you know, it is what it is.
But also, it might be that you didn't know that this is how you should react, because actually, Islamically speaking, you've got to respond to that. Like, there's an ayah in the Quran. It says, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتُ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ يُكْفَرُ بِهَا وَيُسْتَهْزَأُ بِهَا فَلَا تَقْعُدُوا مَعَهُمْ حَتَّى يَخُوضُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِهِ إنكم إذا مثلهم. You know, there's a verse that said, if people attack the religion and the ayat and the verses of God, and you see them mocking it, don't sit with them. People who basically say that, you don't sit with them until they speak about something else. Otherwise, you'll be just like them.
No, I see that, and that's where me and you disagree, because I'm okay with platforming people that disagree with me. I'm okay with platforming someone like yourself who's a devout Muslim. I'm okay with platforming someone that you disagree with, like a Zionist. I platform people even if I don't agree with their takes, and I understand from a religious perspective that can be seen as haram, but I'm not a religious guy, and my thing is, I think it's very important to be able to platform and bring people on with differing views, right? I'm not against you platforming them. I'm just saying the response to how you platform them. Like, you can platform them, but respond to certain things they say about Islam, religion, prophets. You know, if someone attacked Jesus, like someone came on and attacked Jesus Christ, the same thing can be said. I would say that shouldn't be acceptable. Do you get it? Now, they can do it, but I would respond to them. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I would respond to them. If someone came and said Jesus is this and Jesus is that, I would get vexed on that basis. I would have to respond on that basis. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah. I'm not saying they don't platform them. You can platform who you like.
All right, so I'll wait for the debate between you and Sam Shuman. When's it happening?
I don't know. I never thought a man with that kind of level was someone that should be on my radar, because I don't know how many even house subscribers he's got. He's unqualified, untrained. I beat his best friend, who was much more qualified and trained than him. So I don't know. You just mentioned his name to me. No one really proposed that. I don't even think he called me. I don't even know.
Okay.
I was looking to debate Tommy Robinson, because you had him on your show. You said you're going to set that up.
Yeah, I was talking with him.
Tommy Robinson.
I was talking with him a few weeks ago.
Is the main
he said
guy.
He'll do it. He will.
It's only fair that someone, like myself, should debate someone like Ben Shapiro, bro. Because how many years have I been in the game? How many millions of views have I amassed? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So why do I need to get some? Yeah, I go to the streets and talk to people like, Shamon or whoever it may be. Do you know what I'm saying? Unholy Schmoly and these guys. I haven't got a problem. I've never actually turned down a debate. I'm actually in a park. I've been in a park 300 times debating anyone who wants to debate me. I go in the streets of London, bare chested. I come out and say, anybody who wants to talk to me can talk to me, bro. And it's called Speaker's Corner. I come out and say, anyone who wants to chat to me, anyone who wants to debate me, I've been there 300 times online. There's videos of it. I've never denied a fight and I've never denied a debate. Tommy Robinson denied both. Tommy Robinson, because he's not my size, I said, bring any heavyweight in the world, I'll fight him. MMA rules. So long as you fight a man that's your weight.
Yeah.
And then we have a debate afterwards.
And I will say,
so that
I spoke
it can
with
be
him.
a conversational and it can be a physical altercation. We disagree. You want to put hands on me, I want to put hands on you in a physical and legal manner. So let's put hands on each other. If it's dishonorable that a man of my size and my height, 6'7", 275 pounds, yeah, someone of my size, if it's dishonorable that I'm going to put my hand on a small guy, then I'll fight anybody. I opened it up for him. I said, anybody in dunya, bro, in the world, come. And then we'll get you an opponent. He wasn't interested in that. So when people propose new names for me, this Shimon and this Shmoli and this and that, I've never said no to anybody, bro. I've never said, I say yes too much. Just like some of those prostitutes that you have on your show. I always say yes.
Well, that's funny. We do bring a multitude of girls from different, obviously the OnlyFans girls are the ones that go viral, but we've had doctors on the show, we've had lawyers on the show, we've had law enforcement on the show, we've had women that are professional, we've brought religious women on.
But are they prostitutes? Do you go in to the directory and for prostitutes and just go and call them up and say, listen, we'll give you this much money instead of doing a sexual act, come on TV?
No, never. And that's another misconception.
How'd you get these? If you don't mind me asking.
I mean, I have a team that does it. So they go ahead and source girls from different places, whether it's a college campus or out and about or whatever. That's how we've been able to get a diverse panel of women on.
But also, they're not all sex workers.
They're not all,
Some have degrees, some have real jobs, some are mothers.
We had a doctor on last week.
Yeah, some are.
We literally had a specialist on last week that's a doctor that does...
They're not all sex workers.
Yeah,
just
does surgery.
To be fair.
But that's a common misconception is that we only bring OnlyFans girls on. But we actually do bring a multitude of different girls.
OnlyFans. Okay. So are they OnlyFans?
There have been girls absolutely that do OnlyFans, right? But we've also had a bunch of women that work professional jobs. Every panel that we have, there's a few women on the panel most of the time that do some type of professional work or educated, whatever. Because we try to have it where we have different women from different walks of life on the podcast. I think that's very important to bring different perspectives. But a majority are non-OnlyFans. We actually got the date on it. Mo, what is it? What's the percentage? He'll pull it up on the side here.
Out of 2,800. From ages from 18 to 49, 46 different U.S. states, 325 different job titles.
And OnlyFans is one of them. So
yeah,
we've brought on a bunch. But I get it. And that's kind of what it is with our podcast is people look at the clips and they kind of run with a narrative a lot of the times, which I'm not blaming you. I mean, obviously it's a lot of content. You're not going to go through every 2 to 3 hour podcast 2 times a day.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. And I understand that, time is
No, I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from.
But there was something I was going to say.
That's a very important point to clear up because I think most people just think they're prostitutes, frankly.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe we should do dawah to them. Maybe we should actually speak to the prostitutes. Me and Ali Dawah. We're talking about doing some dawah to the prostitutes
on the clips.
Yeah, the loudest what goes viral is the loudest, craziest girls.
Ones,
the girls that are quiet,
humble,
that aren't like that.
They don't get a lot of airtime.
No one hears them talk because they don't talk. They're
listening.
They're listening,
processing it,
and then after the show, they're like, "Oh, we agree with you." But they don't want to say it on the show because we know, like I said, women tend to be more scared of being exiled than men, right? For us, being a coward is a problem. For them, being a coward is not a big deal. It's actually when their survival makeup. So they won't speak up during the show, but unfortunately, those girls never get light, the crazy ones do, that, are the sex workers or whatever. What